Hi, this is Henk Akkermans, Supply Chain Dynamics Chapter 2, Sysdea Gameplay 6, Information Delays. Information delays are again those very simple structures that explain a whole lot of life. And they're very useful in describing how people process information. Let's say that this is the current perceived value of, say, the relevance of my courses. Let's call this let's make a start value for this. And let's say that, well, we start off, well, initially it's at least at an 8, that's what you expect. Put this one in there. Okay. But there's also the currently value that from week to week you see a certain performance, and that's also what you take into account. And that performance may be different than your long-term perception. There are, of course, perception delays involved. Let's say something 4 weeks. And so what you then see is that the let's call this the perception adjustment rate is well, what you currently see minus what you've been seeing over time over a certain adjustment period. And apparently, if the current value is 0, then you may start off with with an 8, but over time it becomes a 0. And of course, if you change this into, well, let's say it's really a 6, then over time this will decline. And if it's really every time a 10, then that's also what will happen. So this is first order information delay. You can over time adjust the perceptions based on what you see what's happening. What is boring, of course, in this case is that the current value remains the same. What you would rather have is that you have something like a step change, step change, so that you can see that something indeed is changing. Step of, let's say, the value of 50% more, 30% more, whatever, after 5 time periods. So something like that. And that we could take the initial value of 8, forget about that number, and multiply that by the step change. You would then see something indeed like this, that the perceived value starts off at 8, but over time, when the real value, the current value, becomes indeed 10, gradually moves towards that level. And so it will take us humans some time to figure out that a change has been, but indeed it's pretty stable. The one thing that is still unrealistic about this is that there's no noise involved, and that's where we'll talk about in the next gameplay.